Hi, Scott here from HomeSure with a quick video on home reports, and we're looking at it this time from a buyer's perspective and what to expect, and we're going to describe what's in one. So home reports are legally required. Any property that you are seeing on the open market and indeed off market should have a home report before they can sell it. Now, as a buyer, you definitely want to insist that there is a home report in place. It's going to have a few key elements that you're going to need to make an informed choice about the property that you're buying. We'll move on to a few of these at different areas now. First thing we're going to look at is an energy performance certificate. Looks pretty much like this. It tells you how energy efficient the property is and how energy efficient it could be with the recommendations in this report. Now, is it important? If you're living in the property and you're an owner or occupier, you probably don't care how energy efficient, unless it's right at the bottom and there's some major problems there. It's probably not a big deal what the banding is. If you're buying it for an investment, it's going to be a buy to let. We'll be aware in the future, 2016, 2017, there's going to be a minimum requirement on this chart here. So you're going to need to have maybe an E or an F before you are allowed to rent that property out. The legislation's still been shaped in this as I make this video, but probably going to be E. So you're going to need to make sure that all your rental properties meet that minimum standard. So if you're buying something that can't physically possible to be brought up to that minimum standard in energy efficiency, you're not going to be able to rent it out. That might change in the future, but it's something to be aware of. So tenants don't really care, owner-occupiers don't care, but as a landlord you need to start looking at this and make sure the properties you're buying are going to reach that minimum standard. So moving on to the single survey. Basically this is a surveyor going in and looking at absolutely everything in the property, 40 different key areas. You can see them all listed there, and it looks at absolutely everything: the gas, the water, the roof, the electrics, all these different types of things, and gives a nice report there. So as a buyer, this is a really nice thing to have. You don't need to go and have a look at things, you don't need any technical expertise. Your Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors surveyor is going to go in and do this for you. They're going to have a walk round, and it is a very quick walk round. It's not an in-depth survey, so they might miss things, but they're certainly going to do their due diligence and have a look at these. And things like the electrics, they're going to know if there's any problems. So they're going to tell you if your electrics need upgraded. They're going to say if the roof looks bad. They're going to have a nose in the loft to see if there's any damp, and they're going to give you all that information. You can get that for free, so you don't need to pay for it. The seller should be encouraged to give you this because they want to sell their property. So the single survey categorises everything as 1s, 2s and 3s. 1 means it's perfect. It could be a brand new kitchen, it's going to be a 1. It could be a kitchen a few years old, it's going to be a 1. 2s means, well, there's not a problem as such, but it's not in a perfect condition, it's average, maybe a few faults. It could be a kitchen that's 10 years old, or a bathroom that's slightly dated but working well enough. And category 3 is a one to watch out for. That could be damp, subsidence, hole in the roof, single glazing that's cracked, misted units. These are the things you want to watch out for as a landlord when you're buying, or not just for investment, but a property you live in. Any 3s means that there's things you're probably going to need to spend money on, and 3s might make it unmortgageable as well, which we'll come on to in a little second. But certainly the category 3s for a buyer's thing is maybe a good thing. You can maybe negotiate a little bit of money off, but generally the purchase price of the property and the valuation is going to consider these 3s and reduce the price there, but you might think there's going to be a lot of hassle to sort these things. So you're not going to get a property in an ideal condition if there's category 3 repairs there. Certainly something to be aware of as a landlord and an owner-occupier. Next thing is a property questionnaire. The seller's going to fill this in. They're going to tell you things like council tax band, the parking, any restrictions, the utility suppliers, and any guarantees that they may have. So they might have a damp work done or rot preservation. They're going to have all these guarantees, and these are going to be provided to you, so your solicitor doesn't need to chase them. Very important part is the mortgage valuation report. Now this is what the surveyor would say to you, say to the bank, is what the property is worth. In this instance, 175,000, so that you're going to be able to mortgage that up to 175,000, minus obviously whatever your deposit is going to be. So as a buy-to-let investor, this is really important. As an owner-occupier, it's really important as well, because this is the maximum you're going to get a mortgage on. So if the seller is wanting 180 and it's only mortgaged at 175, you're going to need to put that extra £5,000 in above and beyond your mortgage arrangement. Not a problem if it's a property you really want or there's some added value in it, but bear in mind the market valuation in your home report is what a bank is going to lend in it. And that can fluctuate 5% either side depending what surveyor did it. So it's not an exact science, it's their guesstimate, it's their knowledge and expertise. So be aware that two surveyors can value it slightly different, although they should all be looking at the same comparables and market evidence, so it shouldn't be too far apart. Also going to have a rental figure on it as well, so if you're a buy-to-let investor, your bankers are going to want to see that rental figure. Some of them don't have them, so it's always worth double checking that it's definitely there and it's definitely accurate for what you want. Surveyors might be doing it from a sales point of view. They might not get that rental figure accurate. They're not letting agents, they might not know the market for lettings as much as they do sales and valuations of property. So it's really important to make sure that that figure is accurate, and speak to your letting agent and pass it by them before you go and try and get a mortgage on it, because your mortgage company are going to look at that if it's too low. And surveyors sometimes put them pretty low if they don't know the market. So you really need to check your date for the home report as well. Your mortgage, if you are getting a mortgage, your mortgage company is going to want this in date. They're not going to lend on it if it's 2 years old, because a lot could have happened in 2 years. The property could have half a roof, it could have been totally changed inside, there could be new buildings going up, a new road in front. All these things affect the valuation. So if you're getting a mortgage, they're going to need to be 3 months in date. Now it's the seller's responsibility to get that updated. Don't feel that you need to pay the cost, or don't feel that they're not going to do it. If they say no, then there's maybe a reason for that. So as a buyer, you want an up-to-date home report. You don't want something that's 2 years out of date, because a lot could have changed, it could be damp or anything. So your mortgage company is going to want that up to date, and you as a buyer want to do your due diligence and make sure that's up to date as well. Now, I'll whiz through all the different parts in this. If it needs any more information about home reports from a buyer's point of view, please arrange to come into the office. We'll sit down, we'll look at a case study, we'll go through the individual parts, and we'll educate you a little bit more on what to look for if you're buying investments or just an owner-occupier property, to make sure you really comprehend and understand and get the most out of these home reports. Otherwise it's just a bit of paper with some information on it, but there's some really cool things you can learn for these that puts you in a good position as a buyer and make sure you're buying the best property that you can. Thank you.